Well, I think, the first part of the project was a cost benefit analysis. We were running an on-premise instance of Surgimate on an aging server. And when you and I had spoken around the beginning of the year, we decided that that server needed to be replaced. And as we're embracing the software as a service model with a couple of other components of what we use here, it decided to make sense to use those budgeted dollars towards a more robust software implementation instead of investing in legacy systems that that continually need to be replaced. The Hand Center has an ASC and a small hospital under the umbrella of our ownership, but they aren't attached to the clinic. It's 3 remote locations. So this has allowed better collaboration between the entities and has made the ability to share documentation for surgeries much easier, and allowed each of the 3 entities to control the reporting that they need, and make it make it customized to their location, as opposed to us radiating out the information that we think they need. This implementation gives them the ability to really customize what they can pull out of the software. Well, I mean, there's been a bit of a learning curve. It was easier for the people in our clinic at the Hand Center here, as they had access to the on-premise implementation before moving to the cloud. It took the team members at the other entities a little longer, but we did involve them during the implementation process, so they were able to have a bit of a head start instead of starting cold after deployment. We had a weekly call, and as the calls, we had a weekly call during implementation, and as the weekly calls moved from, kind of tying in the API to our practice management and more towards an everyday use of the software, we started pulling in more and more team members towards the end of that process. So, again, with any software implementation, there are going to be, like I said, a learning curve, but I feel we really were able to tackle that as best we could. Well, it was a fairly easy implementation. Ruben is the person that we work with at Surgimate, and he was great. He was with us every step of the way. We were able to get once we were able to get the API process started with our practice management software.
Which software, really, by the way?
I'm sorry, it's Intergy.
Intergy.
Yeah. And once we were able to get the API working between Intergy and Surgimate, things really started to click from there. And then it was just a matter of having, the surgical nurses here at the Hand Center being able to, provide as much information as they could in our development documentation. And then Surgimate was able to, move that process along really quickly. Towards the end of it, there were, some things that we discovered that were, we had, missed, or, this needed to be put here instead of there. I mean, but like I said, that goes hand in glove with any kind of software implementation.
Hand in glove is quite a pun for your practice.
I'm sorry, sir?
Hand in glove is an apt idiom for your practice.
I try to use that idiom whenever I can.
Yeah, excellent.
Well, really, 2 things are the best part of it for us is that, is single location documentation repository and robust configurable reporting. I mean, for those, I mean, there are pieces of EHR software, electronic health record software that you can use for surgery scheduling. There are pieces of practice management software that you can use for scheduling. But you're also confined to, having that implementation as at that location. I mean, it's one thing if you've got a cloud install of an EHR where you can use it at multiple locations, but then at that point you're confined to the tools that they have inside of that. And I think Surgimate's reporting really is the main difference between what an EHR can do for you as far as scheduling or a practice management component and what we're using now. It's night and day for how we're able to look forward, look backward, move everything around in the dashboard for the reporting, take pieces out, put pieces in, and then save those as customized templates, because someone that's sitting at the table to the left of me might need a report that's completely different than someone who's sitting at the table to the right of me. And the ability to have those robust tools, but then be able to save those views and have those people get the information that they need without having to worry about going back and recreating their work is huge for us. Well, I mean, it's a third party, it's a third party program. So you have to commit to the investment that you're going to have an extra piece of software on top of the software that you're already using. But I think that this kind of goes back to the very first question that we talked about, where, we as a practice at the Hand Center are moving away from physical servers on premise. And that is ultimately where I want to be. I am a proponent of the software as a service kind of process, because I don't want to have to worry about, security concerns or, too much. But on the flip side, I also want to give my users as much flexibility as they can, so that once they learn this piece of software, once we're able to, deploy or implement, deploy, and train my users, I think that their ability to move beyond that training and really customize it to what provides them the most robust information that they can gather is that's something that if you've got users that are able to embrace the software and move along with it, then Surgimate is a great product for those people. Absolutely. I mean, before we were using when we were using Surgimate on premise, we were integrating with our EHR, and now we're also integrating the EHR with our practice management software. So there was some information that was flowing, but now that we've gone with the cloud software, which is much more robust, and we have an API connection with our practice management software, which is far more robust than our EHR, seeing information move back and forth between those two entities was absolutely critical for me. I think that's probably the first point that started to sell me on making the move, instead of seeing if we wanted to, deprecate and move to, some kind of more limited scheduling piece of software. But then once I was able to kind of visualize where we would be able to go, how we're able to scale, then, then I realized that this was the right solution for us. Like, just as an example, like we're able to go over to the ASC. I was able to do a training session with them. We were able, and because Surgimate is just it's just a site now, as opposed to an on-premise installation or local installation, we were also able to give them access to our practice management software. And so that ASC instantly went from basically relying on us faxing stuff to them to having all of our demographic and scheduling information at their fingertips immediately. I don't know. I mean, I can't stress enough how much of a net positive that is for even just that one component between us and the ambulatory surgery center.